Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Sparring Sessions podcast. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC 316, O'Malley versus Dvalishvili 2. First, though, before we get into all those picks and predictions, I'm going to bring in my co-host first. Familiar face, Big Will. How you doing today?
Another day not in the Tesla, so not as
Ah,
good as it could be. So yeah, happy to be
RIP.
here though. Talk about these fights.
I need Tesla Will back. Maybe we'll get, what's that off-brand? Is it Rivian? Maybe we'll get Rivian Will one day. You
There's
two
a
can have
there's
a,
a Kia one, there's a
yeah,
Volvo something.
we need a duel. And a new face to the podcast, Joe, or we like to call him Unc. He's not actually an old man, but to us he
It's
is compared
debatable.
to Unc. How you doing today?
Doing wonderful, boys. It's very fun to be here with you. I
Awesome.
I'm flattered, and as Will knows, I'm in love with you guys.
Well, we're in love with you too. Several, several, we'll call them straight homosexual sexual acts will be done after this show.
Yes.
Um, Unc, you've been watching MMA a lot longer than we have. I'll tell you that. What's your give us a little introduction to your MMA fandom?
I guess it all started when I was in my senior year of high school. I have an older friend of mine, and his brother was a devout MMA fan who absolutely hated the UFC. So, Pride, the heyday
Yeah.
of early Pride was really my introduction and what really got me hooked. Huge Crow Cop fan from day
Okay.
one. So that kind of got me in there. And from then on, it was just, UFC kind of bought everything up that was worth watching
Yeah.
for me. Never got into the regional scene as much as some of you guys have, which I find hilarious. And I love that you guys know so much about these guys who are coming up. And I love knowing nothing about it whenever you guys are talking about it. And I'm always informed on something new. So it's been very fun to be a part of the group. And it's been great to go to a couple events with you guys.
Awesome.
But
And
yeah, that's me.
well, great to have you. Great to have some. It's a shame we don't have anybody. I was trying to think who's like the most tenured fighter because you watched modern day,
Mm.
but I was thinking like back to not even Pride days, but like early UFC. Do we have anybody who's fought recently or coming up that's like that old? And I was trying to think. Is Wonder Boy the oldest fighter that we've got on the roster? Because they
Like it
cut
like in terms of age or how long they've
Hmm.
been with the promotion. Because
kind
Juliana
of
Pena's
both.
got to be up there. She's
Really?
been
You
she's
think?
been she's been there since 2013.
2013. Wow. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
And
because
I,
they,
that's
and
it's got to be something like that.
I've got to imagine that Wonder Boy's around there
yeah,
2013-ish.
yeah, because they cut a bunch of the older guys, the Arlovsky generation.
Derek Lewis is up there.
Good shout. Good shout.
You guys,
Um,
all right? I cheat. I needed to look this up because I was so interested. You're both very wrong, and it's a very obvious person. Think of somebody who is
Oh,
still.
John
Yeah,
Jones.
there it is. Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
But like
yeah.
he's it's sad to say, but he's sometimes an afterthought. But
Uh, they got to strip him, man.
it is what it is.
It's it's such a disappointment for me, personally.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of people, it's just he's so great when he was on. He was so
Yeah.
fun to watch, and then to see those last two, I guess, fights at light heavyweight, where he kind of struggled with who was it? It was
Thiago Santos and Dominic Reyes, right?
yes,
Well,
I was
hey,
gonna say I wanted to say Dominic Cruz for some reason. Yeah, like and then all the bullshit outside of the ring, outside of the
Yeah.
octagon, that just really it just pisses you off. I mean, it really
Yeah.
does, and it's sad. I don't know what else to say.
It
Fight
is
Tom or
sad.
get the fuck out of there.
he's going full Sleepy Joe over in Thailand,
Oh, he is.
smelling hair and
Speaking of Sleepy Joe, we had a Sleepy Joe incident on the card last night. I'm going to use this to transition into our recap of UFC Fight Night Barber versus Blanchfield, or should I call it UFC Fight Night Gamrot versus Klein at this point?
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, we broke down the fight card last week. We broke down 12 fights. I think eight of them stayed together. So we essentially got lost a quarter of the card.
yeah.
Um, So the Billy Ray Goff and Co fight, and the what was the other one? Who was Brahim was fighting Oban Elliott. Elliott and Co pulled out, so Brahim and Goff just fought each other. Markel Medeiros pulled out of the Oki fight just to fight this week, and Oki fought uh I'm blanking on his name. What was his name?
Yeah,
Uh
I did
oh,
watch
Michael
that fight.
Aswell. Yeah, that was a good fight, but kind of weird that Markel Medeiros is fighting next week now, and it's not a basic thing. Um, Trevin Giles put out the Gustafsson fight, and Gustafsson's now fighting this week. And there's one more. There's one more. Oh, a bunch of people miss weight, and then we get to the main event where they play the promo package for it, and then they cut to DC, Senko, and
Insane.
whoever it was, and they're like, yeah, Macy Barber walked out, walked back in. We heard rumors later because nobody confirmed it that she had a seizure, but um, I I hope like I hope the two of you had fallen asleep by then, because I know several people who did fall asleep. UFC Genie fell asleep during the Gamrot fight. Uh, Horrible look for both Barber and the UFC. If it was anything serious, I hope, best wishes to Barber, but you can understand how heated Blanchfield was, right?
Dude, imagine what the promoter feels like. Imagine what Dana and the matchmakers are feeling like. Imagine that was in a loaded arena of 20,000 people in Poughkeepsie, New York. Imagine that was UFC Fight Night Poughkeepsie. And
Carl would have been pissed.
dude,
That's the first
yeah,
Carl reference on this podcast ever.
insane.
I'm not going to
But
explain that one.
Don't
Yeah,
do it.
that's a shit show, man. It's
Oh,
unfortunate and
bleep it
I
yeah.
don't
out.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that was a I'll say it was probably more interesting than the fight would have been. Hearing that news and seeing that
Yeah.
interview. Some other notable things: UFC 320. They rescheduled it from Guadalajara. I saw it's now a fight night for Noche UFC in San Antonio. Um, you got to feel for the Mexican fans who want to go, and you got to feel for the UFC too a little bit, because they put all this money into UFC 320, and then they lost the Canelo fight that weekend. They were going to promote Canelo versus Crawford, and now they have a fight night in San Antonio. Granted, from what I hear, the arena had some issues as far back as March, and they were confident in announcing it. So, it's one of those weird
I heard
situations.
it was a political thing.
Yep, I heard a rumor that the owner of the arena is in an opposite political party as the government that's in the Mexican government right now, and
Yeah,
so the
yeah.
permits and the inspections and all that.
They're
Well,
really
I'm no
slow rolling it.
I'm no construction guy, but seems to me these things happen. These things definitely happen in MMA. I'll say that. Um, so yeah, that's UFC Fight Night Blanchfield versus Barber. It feels off to give it a rating in retrospect, but I'm still going to ask. We'll start with you on 1 to 10, ABC, whatever you want to do. Let's hear your rating after.
Well, in full transparency, I got to sleep fairly early last night.
Oof.
Uh,
Sounds like an A for you then.
what I saw, I enjoyed the prelims. I had to go back and look to remember exactly what I was watching, but there were some good prelim fights. I remember that,
Yeah,
and I got in, I think, two fights into the main card, and I definitely passed out. Um,
probably good. Probably good for
yeah,
you.
I can't really complain too much because I was dreaming about things far better than Blanchfield versus Barber.
Well, some
What
of
I
these
saw, I'd
fights.
give it a B plus. I don't know from what I
Yeah.
saw, and I
Oh,
was early off it, so I didn't see the bad part, so I can't speak to it. So we'll give
fair
it a good
enough.
grade from me.
You missed the
Third.
Macy Chasson
Oh God.
masterclass.
I did see that. I did see that. I
Oh
did
You
see that.
still
God.
I
you
think
still
I
gave
think
it a B
that's
plus?
I think that's what put me to sleep. So I think I trailed off at the end of that, like probably early round three. So let's break that. Let's pull that down to a C minus.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It was a good nighttime, good lullaby. Will, what about you?
I'll give it a 5. The first couple
Yeah.
fights were really, really good, back and forth. The first two fights had like 600 significant strikes
Yeah.
combined or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a wild first couple fights, and then it was all downhill from there. Uh, it kind of sucks when it's like that. You want it to be the other way around, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We saw some weird things happen, and we ended with the weirdest thing of them all. So on
Uh,
to the next one.
on to the next one. I'm gonna give the C as well. I don't really feel like talking about it anymore. It was a pretty weird, pretty shitty night. Yeah, let's move on to a fight night that hopefully it's shaping up to be equally as weird. I'll tell you
It's a
that from
it's a pay per
from a
view.
week
It's a
out.
pay per view.
It is a pay-per-view. You will be forced to pay what is it now, $90 for it? Something, I don't know. Um,
It forced me to do shit.
UFC 316, Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2, going down Saturday, June 8th in the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, um, United States, 6 p.m. Eastern start time, 10 p.m. prelims. Excuse me, the 7th. 13 fights now. There used to be 12, but 13. 12 out of the 26 fighters are ranked. We've had a whole mess of fights change. I'm just going to run through them real quick. John Walker was supposed to fight Osman Mirzganov. He pulled out. Now we have Brenson Hibiero. Chito Vera was supposed to fight Mario Batista. Now we have Patchy Mix. Waldo Cortez Acosta is in for Gaziev against Sergey Spivak. Earl Medic was supposed to fight Cass Williams. Then Albert Tadavosian was supposed to fight Cass Williams. Now we're getting Andreas Gustafsson versus Cass Williams. Um, and Mark Almodeos and Mark Twinsky is a short notes for both of them. Brand new fight. So uh, that's the background for the card. I guess. Well, let's give it a rating pre-card. Pre-card too. Kind of a weird one. I had trouble giving this a rating. Well, let's start with you. Same. ABC 1, 2, 3. What are you giving this card?
Give it a 7.5. I think it's pretty decent.
Okay,
Pretty decent card. Yeah.
7.5. All right, fair enough. Um, Unc, what about you? How do you feel about this one?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the same wavelength with you on this, Dex.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. There's some fights that like I don't know if I don't know that they make sense to me. I don't know what they're getting at matchmaking wise. I
Yeah.
mean, I always feel like sometimes there's these fights where it's just like I feel bad for the guy. There's and I see a lot of that going on, which is fun to watch sometimes, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll give it a C plus going into it. Hope it's more like a B when it actually happens.
Fair enough. I do not actually feel bad for Juliana Pena.
Mm.
I am
Yeah,
something to
I wouldn't
like.
throw her. I wouldn't throw her in that category.
Uh, yeah, I'll probably give it a C, maybe a C plus myself. There's just nothing pulling me there. Like, do I need to watch Joe Pyfer
Yeah.
submit Kelvin Gastelum
Yes.
or
Yes.
I feel like we can just give the title like we could have just given the title to Kayla, just strip Juliana and do we need to? I guess it would be nice to see that fight, but a lot of these where it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So let's jump right in. No sense talking about abstracts when we can get into fights. We got lightweights. Markel Medeiros and Mark Chwinsky are fighting. I was surprised we had odds for this. Some of the fights dropped yesterday, and we have odds. So minus 250 for Medeiros, plus 175 on the other side for Mark Chwinsky. Obviously, short notice for Chwinsky. I believe both him and Medeiros. Well, we know Medeiros is prepping for a fight. I believe he was also prepping for June 15th. He was prepping for a APFC welterweight fight. I think he was going up to he's their lightweight champion, or I guess was, and he was going to go up and get their welterweight bout, but Yeah, Medeiros was supposed to fight Blagioki, like we said. He's fighting Martwinski, 2-0 in the UFC. Um, they're pretty much the same age. Height, Chwinski's got a little shorter. He's a tiny bit older. Don't have a reach on Chwinski, so I can't compare him. But yeah, 8-0 for the undisputed prospect. You know how we do it on this podcast. We pick a winner for every fight. So um I'm gonna let Will kick us off today. Just order of who's on my screen here. Will, who you got in this fight? Weird one, huh?
We're already way too long on this fight. I think Madero's probably cardio kickboxes his way to a decision. Chewinski probably has a good showing. I think this fight will probably be very similar to Madero's fight with Hubbard.
Yeah,
Um, so in that case, give me Markel Maderos by decision. And I never call people by decision.
yeah.
The only people that I ever call by decision is Caitlin Chukagian, and that's it. So yeah, give me Madero's by decision.
Well, I think we have a few more on this card that might fall into that rating in that bucket at some point. Fair enough. Unk, who you got kicking us off here?
Medeiros. Medeiros. Get us out of here, Dex.
Yeah, fair enough. It's Medeiros. Swinski's good at grappling, but I think Medeiros
Unk
can
has
get.
no clue. Unk has no clue who Mark Chewinski.
I was looking at him. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah,
He looks like a
He's
little.
getting
He
me.
looks. He looks like a little Frank Mir.
he does
I'm
look like a little Frank Mir with the
yeah.
beard.
I'm just
The
not
facial
feeling
hair
him.
really helps him.
I'm not. Unk feels nothing for this man.
You don't feel
Oh,
compelled.
there you go. No, no feelings of attraction there. Um,
I need more
yeah, we
coffee
can move
though.
on. We can move on.
I keep grabbing
Uh,
this like there's coffee in it. No, nothing.
Lightweights, Quillian Solcode, big favorite, -380 against Ash Moose plus 300 on the other side. Both 8-1. Ash Moose is 5 years older. Solcode's 4 inches taller, sorry, 3 inches taller. He's got 7 inches of reach. Um, Australia versus Israel. Funny enough, I learned this recently. Ash Moose is an Israeli Muslim. We're not going to get into politics or religion here in this podcast. I just uh, thought that was pretty
This
interesting.
this fight hitting close to home for you?
Something like that. So we'll let you kick off this one. You going with the odds, the
This
heavy
is.
favorite in Korean Salco?
I think I have to just because I don't know what else to do in this case. It's like I feel like this is another one of those where we're just going to see a decision, right? Like this is one of those other guys that we're going to see. You know, let's. I just see a lot of dancing going on.
Yeah,
I don't see a lot of action, unfortunately, for me and
fair enough.
us and everyone.
Fair enough.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I guess it depends who wins. I think it depends who wins. I'll give my take next. I'm going Salco, but I think he could definitely. We've never seen Ash Moose KO'd. He even I think he broke his hand and still went to a decision against Chris Duncan, who's a finisher himself. So you might be right on the decision there. I do think this will be an exciting fight, though. I'll say that these guys are both exciting strikers, and they both have some power. So maybe we see that. Maybe we see some wrestling. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen here, but I think Salko's going to win. Will, let's you going with your Israeli brethren here?
I think Saalko's gonna finish Hashim's.
Oh yeah,
I
Really?
think he's got the perfect combination of uh, height and length again in this matchup to where Ash Moose will be like right on the end of his punches, and if it goes there, Salkhild has a submission game, so he could wrap up something like an
okay,
Adars or something like that. I think yeah, I think Salkhild's gonna get him out of there. And it's not
interesting.
just because he beat Angelo Dubli his last fight. I mean, he's shown to be a finisher before that. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think Ashman's undersized, and this is the fight that will possibly send him down to featherweight.
I
interesting.
just feel like
I
these guys are going to cancel each other out. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
we're going to see a lot of feints and not a lot of commitment. I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair. Ashmu's, from what I can see, never fought at featherweight. Only he's fought at welterweight before though, so
Oh wow.
that's interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it goes to show. Um, all right, we'll move on. Now that
He needs to lay off the latke.
next fight, featherweights, Jekasaragi plus 340, big underdog to Yu Sang Yu. I hope I'm saying that right. Mine's 440. The Korean names, I'm not good with Korean names. I'll say that. Korea versus Indonesia. Oh, I don't think there's ever been a Korea versus Indonesia fight in the UFC. I could be wrong, but I don't really care to look it up. Uh, Sergey is lost my train of thought. They're pretty much the same age, same height, same reach. Um, Yu is coming in now. I'll give you credit here. I also had to look up who this guy was. It's not often I'm looking up who a guy is, but um, he didn't win Road to UFC like a lot of these Asian prospects are. So like we haven't even seen him in like the UFC sphere. Just
Right.
Yeah.
Zombie Fight Night, Korean Zombies card, and Heat 52 and AFC 27 are his
Oh
other
yeah,
most recent fights.
he was on looking for a fight, I think, right? For
He
Dana
was.
White's. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was.
Mm,
Which Dana White doesn't even go to anymore. You know that him and Mick Maynard
really?
and Sean Shelby just like watch in a room at the UFC headquarters or
No,
something.
this the one with Zombie, there was an issue, there was a political conflict over in Korea, and
Yeah.
that's why they didn't go to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's another one that they didn't go to. I
It
forget where it
happened,
was.
I think it happened at the same time we were in Tampa together,
Oh, okay. Fair
from
enough.
what I heard.
That was a good time. Yeah, Jake Sergey, he is 1-2 in the UFC. So, this is my turn. Pretty easy here. I watched a little bit of you, and he can wrestle. So, I mean, he's a striker. He can wrestle. That's all I need to know against Jekasaragi. Jekasaragi is bad, in my opinion. He won on Road to UFC, but and he beat Lucas Alexander, which is a weird win. Not aging well. Lost to Ancho Jubli. That should tell you some things. And Weston Wilson. So if Ancho Jubli and Weston Wilson can finish him, you're telling me this 8-0 undefeated guy who can finish and can wrestle isn't going to beat his ass?
Right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. I'm with you on this one. Ju sang you, baby.
You saying you will? You going to
Yeah.
make this a triple?
You said Jekka Saragi is bad, but I want to tell you one thing he's good at, and that's getting smoked. Give me you.
Uh,
Well played, sir.
well played indeed.
Had to,
Um,
guys.
yeah, this goes to show you the quality of these early prelims. Like, we're going through these so fast, and it's justified. Like these are
Yeah.
either easy fights, or we just don't know anything, or don't know what's going to happen. I got a feeling this next one's going to be somewhat of an easy fight too. We got number 13 ranked women's flyweight Ariane De Silva, formerly on Ariane Lipski against Wang Kong. Kong's a huge favorite, minus 390 against Silva's plus 280. So matchmakers, they think the odds makers think there's just going to be another stepping stone. Kong is 2-1 in the UFC. Was undefeated, but had that weird she got finished by Gabriel Fernandez and then beat Bruno Brazil. Ariane Lipski de Silva, however you want to call it, KSW champion, and 6-7 in the UFC. That's an odd record. She got Darce choked by Jasmine Jasudavicius most recently. Um, yeah, pretty much same age, same height, half an inch of reach. That's about it. Will, I think this is you. You going with the Joker or the Queen of Violence? Great nicknames, by the
These
way.
odds are all over the place, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Why is
I
that?
don't know, man. She's lost to Jazz Divicious, who's a top five in the division. Uh, Wayne Kong is coming off a win off of who was it?
Bruno Brazil?
Yeah, like those are so opposite of the end of the spectrum, dude.
Yeah.
Uh, we've seen Ariane Lipski use her grappling uh to get the wins, and I think these odds are wrong, man. I'm gonna take Lipski in this fight.
Interesting. Okay. Can I eliminate two losses of Lipski's that might sway you otherwise? Priscilla Cachoeira and Antonina Shevchenko. Does that say anything? Both those women have beat.
Cachoeira, I think just she gave her a fight to win. Like she just didn't really do anything besides give her the like a path to victory, I think. And
Okay.
then the Antonina Shevchenko, that was like 5 years ago.
Okay.
I don't feel too bad about that.
Okay.
I think the Casey O'Neill win is pretty impressive for
That is good.
Lipski. She's lost to Karine Silva, didn't get finished by her, and
No,
lost to Jasmine Jazz Davicius. So I don't think those losses are bad. Um, she also beat JJ Aldrich, which I don't think is horrible. I think Wang Kong would have a hard time fighting JJ Aldrich with that style. So
I do
um,
agree.
yeah, man, I think this fight's going to be a lot closer, and uh, I'm really interested in a Lipsky spread in this fight when it comes to betting. So
Okay. Fair enough. Uh,
Cool.
for me, Wayne Kong, 100% takedown defense. Granted, that's only against, I think it's like five takedowns or something.
yeah.
And we're not seeing De Silva shoot a lot of takedowns in general. But yeah, those reasons, De Silva's been put out. I don't know. This just feels like a Wayne Kong victory. Maybe it'll be a boring one, but it just kind of feels like that's where we're going here. Take your spot in the rankings. Split the difference. Who you going with, Will or me?
I was ready to jump on with Kong. Is it Wang?
Sure,
Wang?
whatever you want. I don't know.
Whatever we want. Just blindly looking at this, is it seems like she's a little bit more on the up than Lipsky, but you look back at Lipsky's experience, like Will was saying, like I mean, she's got decision losses to Molly McCann
Oh,
and
yeah,
Joanne Wood. Like it feels kind of like it's going to be a boring one. It's going to be a
yeah.
decision, one or the other. And I do agree with Will. I think it's more of a coin toss than the odds are really giving us.
Oh, okay.
Um, just because of the experience difference. I think Lipsky's been in there under under those lights a lot more, and
Hmm.
maybe that's gonna benefit her. And I do think it's gonna be a lot closer, but I think I'm gonna still go with Kong Wang.
Okay. You faked this out there. I thought you
Yeah,
were gonna.
I
I will
curveballed you.
convince you.
Well, I wasn't. I was really like thinking it was gonna be heavy-handed that way, but I don't
Yeah,
think so. I think Will talked me into it is going to be a much closer fight than the odds are really giving us. And
yeah,
if you're looking for big money, maybe that is the bet to make for that,
maybe.
prelim card.
Maybe. Or I guess I have a rule, never bet on unranked women's fighters, and I
Yeah.
guess this
You
doesn't
say that,
count.
but you keep doing it.
I do. I do. I should just treat all women's bantamweights as unranked, and that'd be a much better rule for me.
Hey man, I have to say something because last week I picked Ardeline or Ardeleon on the show.
Yeah, yeah,
So man,
yeah.
I felt good about that.
That was a good pick. That was a good pick. She looked great.
If there's one thing I know, it's unranked women's fights.
Fair enough. As aforementioned, I know nothing about unranked women's fighters, so maybe this is a good sign for you. Maybe this is a good sign for Ariane De Silva. Um, I don't really care that much though, so let's move on to the next fight. A fight I do care a lot more about actually. Welterweight. Chaos Williams is fighting Andreas Gustafsson. Uh, minus 188 for Chaos, plus 150 for Gustafsson. This is one of those weird short notice ones where I don't know if it's technically short notice for both guys, but also technically for neither. So um, weird fight. Let's yeah, pretty much the same height. Cass Williams has 3 inches of reach. Despite being the debuting guy, Gustafsson is 3 years older. But has I don't know who has a cooler name here. Gustafsson has Bane as a nickname. That was one of my all-time favorite villains. Cass Williams has the Ox Fighter, which pretty dope. Um, so yeah, kind of a weird one. Unc, are you going with the debuting Swede or the kind of the vet Chaos Williams at this point?
Is he like a gatekeeper at this point? Can we call him that? No, not
Uh,
yet.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's
I don't
getting there in
know.
his career, it feels like.
He is
And
getting
with
there.
these taking this fight is kind of weird, I think, for him.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe not. He I'm gonna go with Chaos just because I like him. This is like a matter of the heart for me. For some reason, I've always liked the guy. I think it's just because I like that maybe his mother actually named him Chaos. I hope she did. I hope it's not a self-given nickname. The guy is fun to watch a lot of the times. He does questionable things in there sometimes. Not the best decision maker, but I like watching his fights.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna go with him.
Fair
My heart
enough.
goes out to you, Chaos. I love you.
I'm also a fan. He's from Detroit, but unlike Jamal Hill, he actually represents Detroit. Um,
That's fire.
yeah, God, Jamal Hill and who's the other guy? Who's the Spartan? Is it oh, he's a bantamweight, I want to say. I'm gonna Google now. While I
The
Google this, Will,
Spartan.
let's hear your pick. Who are you going with here?
I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but his name's not actually Chaos.
Yeah.
It's Kalen.
Mm. Oh, all right. Fuck.
Um, I don't know
I knew
where he
Will was gonna burst
gets.
that bubble for me.
I don't know where he gets that nickname. He actually got the
From the
nickname in
streets.
2007. He grew up in a rough neighborhood and constantly created chaos. Okay, there it is. It's on Wikipedia. But yeah, I knew his name was not Kalen. I just wanted to wait until it was my turn to say that. Um, Man, I really like both guys. Excuse me. Uh, Gustafson, I was all over Gustafson, no Diddy last week, against Trevin Giles, but he keeps having bad luck with fights pulling out because it's just rough, man. Who knows? By this time next week, he could be fighting Ange Loosa or Phil Rowe.
Mm,
Like this is like the fourth or fifth matchup he's had on within these last 2 weeks, and he's supposed to fight Preston Parsons, and then yeah, the list went on.
yeah.
It was rough for him. Um, Man, I just don't know. I just don't know how Gustafson's style would look against Chaos Williams, honestly. Because Gustafson wants to grind on you and hit you every chance he gets. Mm. And Chaos Williams could death touch him. I feel compelled to pick Chaos, but I'm a big fan of Gus, and I wouldn't be surprised if he snowballed into a win against Chaos Williams.
Yeah, I could see it. I'm picking KS myself. I think this is gonna be a good one. He just has the experience, though. He has the uh, not in terms of fights, but high level fights definitely. Gustafsson also is one of those guys who uh, got started pretty late, and I think his style is going to play well into Chaos's. I don't think Chaos is going to be worried about him taking him down or um, maybe holding him against the cage a little bit, but I think the power of Chaos is going to power and experience is going to play here, and I think we get a really exciting fight. Um, so yeah, onto a fight that uh, not too exciting. Maybe depending on who you're picking here. Heavyweights. Sergey Spivak, number seven ranked. Yes, Sergey Spivak is number seven in the UFC heavyweight division.
Wow.
Minus 125 versus number 11 ranked Waldo Cortez Acosta, plus 105. This is one of those short notice ones. I do wish we would have had Gizzy even here, but it is what it is. Spivak's 8-5 in the UFC. He most recently got no, not destroyed. That was actually a pretty close back and forth fight. He got finished by Gelton Almeida. January Cortez Acosta on the other side just finished Ryan Spann. Um, this is pretty, actually, it was surprising. Pretty identical reaches and heights. Cortez Acosta is going to be a little bit bigger. Spivak typically weighs in around 233, costs around 260. So I want to say this is me. I'm going to go with it, even if it isn't my turn. The underdog. Give me Walter Cortez Acosta, Salsa Boy. Uh, he, I really surprised myself with this pick. I'll be honest. I thought I was going to come in here and pick Sergey Spivak, but no. Cortez Acosta has decent takedown defense. Um, Spivak will shoot a ton of takedowns. I don't know if he gets a ton. I think he can. I think this is going to be really sloppy. It's one of those sloppy, fatty fights. Even though
Mm-hmm.
Cortez Acosta isn't. I guess he's a little heavy, but he was a baseball player. He's not a huge fatty guy. Yeah, I think he can stop enough takedowns and kind of win like 1.51 rounds. One round convincingly, and then like kind of half of another round. So why not? Give me the salsa boy. I also just when I first met Will, I think 6 years ago, Will told me I looked like a cross between Sergey Spivak and Sergey Pavlovich, and I've never liked either guy since. Uh, so Will, let's hear your pick
Let
and
me.
any rebuttal to that.
I don't see it. I'm
It
not
was
really.
before
Um,
the beard. Before the beard.
man, I don't know. This fight is one of those fights where I don't know how anybody can be compelled to feel
Yeah.
very, very like on either side. Like it's just one of those fights. I think it's the odds are fine where they are, but I do think Spivak's gonna get the takedowns, and I think he's clearly better than Waldo on the ground. Um, so I give me Spivak. Uh, but that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Waldo jabs his face off for three
Yeah.
rounds. Um, it goes. This fight is. I don't think this fight's going to be close. I think it's going to go one way or the other. Um, yeah, give me Spivak.
Spivak. Okay. You get to split the difference again. Let's hear it.
I'm with Will on this one. I'm looking back because these are one of those fights, these big fatty fights, as you put it so delicately. It is like it's almost always a coin toss. It almost always goes 50-50 at some point.
Yeah.
And looking back, I think the difference maker in this one is experience. Spivak's been in there with a lot higher caliber guys. He's fought Cyril Gahn, he's fought Derek Lewis, he's fought
Yeah.
Greg Hardy. He's fought, uh,
Ah.
he lost to Aspinall in a really bad way, but
Yeah.
like he's been in there with guys that are at weight, the top of the heavyweight game. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Spivak.
All right. Well, let's hope this is.
Do you know who the first person to take down Waldo Cortez Acosta in the UFC was?
Was it Andrei Arlovski?
Tay Sherman.
Oh boy. All right. Maybe I should have picked Spivak.
Tay Sherman.
Well, wow. Chase Sherman. I thought we'd never speak that name again. Shout out Chase Sherman. Maybe. I don't know about that one.
Get him in dirty boxing, man.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Get him in dirty boxing. Get him in karate combat versus Sam Alvey.
Give me Chase Sherman versus Yoel Romero, dirty boxing.
Oh, do you hate the man?
Why not?
Ah. All right, let's move on to light heavyweights. Brenson Hibero plus 390 to number 12 ranked Azamat Mirzakhanov minus 520. Mirzakhanov's undefeated, 14-0, 4-0 in the UFC. Most recently he knocked out Alonzo Menafield. Um, the Professional is his nickname. I like that nickname. It suits him, I feel. Hibero on the other side, 17-7. 2-2 in the UFC. Most recently, he had that weird Kimura over Dr. Nergoje. Um, and yeah, he was one of those Min Yang Zhang victims on the way ups. But he's getting a shot now. And he has almost 10 inches of reach, 9.5 inches of reach advantage, 5 inches of height, 6 years younger, but he's still a plus 420 underdog. Um, oh, I've lost whoever it is. Well, no, Unc, let's go with you. Who you picking in this we'll
I
call it
can't
this sloppy
go.
fatty light heavyweight fight.
Beautiful. I can't go against the minus 600 in this case, not with the guy that we're talking about on the other side.
Yeah,
I don't see a way for him to win this fight. It's pretty cut and dry, I think.
yeah. I'm with you. I mean, Hibero kind of got lucky with that Nergoje win. In my opinion, he kind of just did everything horribly wrong that you would do with a wipeout Kimura. And he's been taken down. He's been knocked out before. So really, whatever Mirzakano wants to do here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be an R wording, I think.
we'll go with that. Yeah.
Not
Well,
the fun R word.
I don't frankly know what
Oh,
the fun R word is, but Will, do you agree
All
with
right.
the R word?
I think yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys just threw me off. Give me Mirza. I think Mirza Khan's gonna smoke him.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a matter of if it'll be when. So yeah, give me Azamat Mirzakhana by probably fun, funky knockout.
fair enough. Let's hope so, and maybe they can pick this card back up after the heavyweights destroy it. Um, Another fight that this one will definitely. I think there's almost a guarantee this one's going to be fun. Flyweights, Joshua Van and Bruno Silva. Joshua Van's minus 550, number 14 ranked. Bruno Silva plus 400, number 12 ranked. Um, they're both short guys with short reaches, 65 and 66 inches. Joshua Van is 12 years younger though. He's still 23.
wow,
Yeah, I know.
that's
I
wild.
was and he's had 7 fights in the UFC. He's 6-1. So yeah, I lost track again. I'm all over the place in this one. Will, let's just go with you. You're next after Uncan in my screen. Who you going with the like huge favorite again? Kind of weird one.
I'm gonna take Joshua Van. The odds are a bit wide for me, but I'm gonna take
Yeah,
Joshua Van. And as you know, we like betting Joshua Van significant strikes around
we
here.
do.
So whatever that line is, probably gonna take it. Yeah. Silva's been knocked out twice before, once in 7 seconds, to a head kick.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, man, I think Joshua Van's gonna do what Joshua Van does, fend off takedowns and rip your body apart. So yeah, give me Joshua Van, round three TKO or decision.
that seems to be what everybody is saying. Unc, you continuing that line, or are you going with the Brazilian? Yeah,
I
Brazilian.
I'm a big fan of Joshua Van. I think he's a great guy. I think he's going to be around a long time. I had no idea he's 23 with all those
Oh yeah.
fights in the UFC already. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I can't divert from the plan here, it seems.
You know,
Let's
you
keep him on the up and up. Let's get him up there in the
yeah,
higher quality competition and see what he does.
I agree. You know, he beat Zhalgas Zhumagulov in front of Will and I in what was that, Jacksonville? I want to say.
Or
It was Florida. I know that. It was from Florida.
oh, I
I've been a
think it was
fan
on the
ever
same
since.
card we got to see Cedricus Dumas and Cody Brundage.
Well, thank you for reminding me about that fight. That was, oh, what a horrible fight. That was so bad. Um, yeah, the pick is Joshua Van. He's gonna power punch or volume, whatever he wants to do. Bruno Silva's not even gonna look to take him down, so he's just gonna style on him. Um,
Yeah, it'll be a fun fight, I think.
Plain and simple. Next up, we're jumping up to the main card. We got welterweights. Number 14 ranked Vincente Luque, big favorite. Uh, or sorry, big underdog, plus 180. Kevin Holland minus 218. Kind of a weird one as well. Any fight's weird with Kevin Holland in it. Holland's going to have 5 inches of reach, 4 inches of height. Younger. I don't know who I expected to be older here, but they're both 32 and 33, so that one kind of weirded me out. Holland is coming back down. No, wait, he was already back down. He jumps up and down so much it's hard to keep track. He most recently uh, fought in March. He took a UD off Gunnar Nelson. That was his come down fight. Luque choked out Themba Gorimbo in December. This one is definitely me because now I'm back on the track. Give me Kevin Holland here. I really like him at welterweight. Um, I've picked him against every welterweight grappler, and I've picked against him on every middleweight grappler that they throw against him because I just for some reason at welterweight, I mean it's the size, but he's just so undersized at middleweight and welterweight. Nobody's really like taken him down and held him there. I know uh, Gunnar Nelson took him down 3 times, but he got back up. He held him against the cage. He made him fight him a little bit. And yeah, I really like Kevin Holland at welterweight. I have a pretty good track record with Kevin Holland fights, so um, I'm interested to see how this one looks. Will, you also, I believe, have a good track record when it comes to Kevin Holland fights, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Kevin Holland here. I think I have a feeling Luke is gonna be a very big underdog people take, and I think they're probably gonna get set up for disappointment. So
Yeah,
yeah, I don't think Luke responds to damage well anymore, as we saw in
no,
his Joaquin Buckley. That was a very underwhelming. I was there in person, and it was just very lackluster, very shell of himself. I'm not just shitting on Luke. I did take him against them Booker Rimbo, his last fight.
yeah,
Yeah, give me Holland. Probably, I think Holland's gonna put some hands on him. So give me Holland by TKO.
on by TKO. I like it. Punk, you seem like the kind of guy who would be a Kevin Holland fan too. Is that the case? And you picking him here?
Yeah, definitely a big fan of Kevin Holland, and like you, I just wish he'd stay at 170. I think he's a
Yeah.
lot more dangerous in that weight class. He's shown us that middleweight's a problem for him.
Hmm.
One of those guys, like in my mind, kind of like Derek Lewis type, that they're just fun to watch. Like it doesn't matter who they're fighting; it's always going to be a
Yeah.
good fight. And those are the guys you want around. And Luque, he's been on the down slope. It seems like kind of really had a hot. What was it? 2022, 2023? Can't remember.
Something like
He
that.
really lit it up for a minute there, and it was everybody was real high on him. Let me look back here.
2021.
Was it that fall? Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
long ago. But yeah, and it just seems like he's been off and on since then.
Hmm.
I think that just shows that a guy like Holland's going to either work you for 3 rounds and make you wish you're not in there, or he's going to catch you with something funky and you're going to get knocked out like and not even know what the fuck happened.
Yep.
Which I think Vincente is kind of prone for in a fight like this.
Vincente, another nice pronunciation on this show.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Vincente
had some
or
fun
Vincente?
pronunciations. People like to clip us, and it's mainly Genie. I'll say that. People like to
Oh
clip
man.
Genie in his pronunciations. What is it? Aspinall, or
Aspinall.
Aspinall.
Good.
We have
Should be
some
a good
really
fight.
fun we have some really fun accents in chat. I do enjoy
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We
Maybe my
got
favorite.
all around the world. We got some interesting US ones too. Um, so yeah. Um, let's jump up to or down, I guess, to 135 bantamweights. Patchy Mix and Mario Bautista. Patchy no love mix. No, it's not Cody Garbrandt. It's Patchy Mix. Minus 170. He is the same age. They're both 31. 2 inches taller, 2 inches of reach. He's coming over from Bellator, where he was their champ. He beat Sergio Pettis and Magomed Magomedov. I mean, obviously a bunch of guys before that too, but those are just two most recent. Other side, Mario Batista should have lost his last fight to Jose Aldo back in October, but he didn't. He won. Um, Marks a 7 fight winning streak for him, 9-2 in the UFC, and everybody hates him now. So, um, Will, this is you. You got the Bellator former champion, super hype prospect coming in here. You got Mario Bautista.
I think Patchy Mix is going to come in and show the world who he is. I think he's probably going to get a finish here. Uh, I think we'll probably see a classic Patchy Mix performance. He is. They mentioned something on the broadcast last night. Like he is the closest thing to Aljamain Sterling, but if Aljamain Sterling had like a kill switch, like he was mean. Like think of Aljamain Sterling if he had like a mean streak in him. I could see that.
I mean, coming up, Aljamain Sterling did have a mean streak. He was finishing dudes left and right. He finished Corey Sandhagen in 90 seconds. That was like before the Jan knee. That was kind of like was his thing, I think.
Fair enough. Um,
Maybe post Jan knee. Let's go with.
yeah. Um, yeah. Give me Patchy Mix probably by strangulation. So give me that.
I like it, and I think everybody would like it as well. Uh, I am with you. I'm going Patchy Mix. I got on this line months ago when it was first dropped. It was minus 150. Now to minus 170, I got a feeling it's only going to grow. Um, Bautista does not have great takedown defense, and I think Patchy Mix is just miles better. This reminds me a lot of the MVP Holland fight where they brought over this hype guy from Bellator. They're when they really want to set somebody up, they're great at it. Like Kayla Harrison, Holly Holm too. They're great at it. This is gonna be a showcase. Unk, I see you nodding your head. You going with the no, he's not from New York. Where's he from? Is Patchy Mix from California?
I think he's from New York.
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
Yeah,
You going with the kind of hometown guy here?
yeah, I have to, and these odds are strange to me. I feel like that's a line you got to jump on quick. It is
Yeah.
going to grow. I'm looking at what minus 170 now. Is that what it
Yep.
is? Yeah,
I think so.
yeah. You got to go with Patchy, and I agree. This is a setup. This is UFC giving us a new big name that we've been waiting on seeing. And they're feeding him. So feed away. Let's enjoy it.
I like it. Um, yeah, should be a good one. Next up, maybe you call it another feeder fight. I would like to call this another feeder fight. I hope so at least. Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Uh, Gastelum is the big underdog here. He's plus 310. Pyfer on the other side minus 395. I believe actually this is yeah, these are shorter odds than last time. Last time this was booked for UFC Mexico. Gaston was a minus, or sorry, Pfeiffer was a minus 550. Now he's only a minus 395. So kind of interesting. Again, this is a rebooking. Pfeiffer couldn't handle the Mexican food. His tummy got a little upset. And yeah, Pfeiffer's going to be a lot bigger though. 6'2" over 5'9". 3.5 inches of reach. He's 5 years younger. Yes, Kelvin Gastelum's still only 33. That surprised me. He most recently knocked out Marc-Andre Barriault last summer, and Gastelum on the other side, um, unanimous decision to Daniel Rodriguez. So compare those two. This is you, another another hometown guy, I guess. That region,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, it's all kind of the same thing.
yeah. It's
I'll
all
say
the
that
same.
I'll say that to any person on the
Sure.
internet. So you go
Fair
with
enough.
the Pennsylvanian or the where even is Kelvin Gastelum fighting out of?
Who
California,
cares?
California.
Who
Oh,
cares?
Yuma,
Yuma,
Arizona.
Arizona.
You know, Gastelum is a hard guy to watch lately. I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about here, unfortunately. I was a big Kelvin fan when he was height. And at his height, he
Okay.
was great to watch for a few of those fights, and then it was
Yeah.
just disappointment since.
Yep.
And I do call this a feeder fight. I think we're feeding Joe Pyfer 100%, and KO early. Joe
KO.
Pyfer.
Okay. Fair enough. I agree. I think submission. I think he's going to take him down and submit him. We Pfeiffer loves to show off those submission skills when he can. And would I like to see Kelvin's chin get cracked? I actually don't dislike him. He's not like a lot of people dislike him, but I don't love him. But it would be interesting. I'll say that to see like a great chin get cracked like that. But I think early submission as well. For Pfeiffer, Gastelum's 33, but fight years he's like 70. Some, he's an old man. Fight years. Will, I already know. Let's hear it. Come on.
I
Fly
know.
birds
I
fly.
I think Gastelum is going to try to wrestle Joe.
Yeah.
From what I heard, Gastelum brought in a lot of wrestlers in his camp, and
Okay.
I would not be surprised if Piper has like a defensive submission pulled off like a ghillie or a ninja
Okay.
choke or something like that. Piper does have a really good wrestling game, a really good jiu-jitsu skill set, so I do think Piper's going to get a submission here, but he could also easily pot shot his way to a decision victory. I'm not so sold on a knockout just yet. Um, I don't know. There might be a couple more fights for Kelvin to get his chin cracked. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't
give
know,
me.
man. I don't know, man. I think it's time. I think
You
we're gonna
think
see
so?
it. Yeah, I think we're gonna
But
see a
listen,
fireworks. Like
I wouldn't
it's gonna be bad. I think we're gonna see a bad one, boys.
I wouldn't
I
be
think we're gonna
Oof.
have a
surprised,
body
man.
on our hands.
There's a huge size difference here,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. Piper's gonna put Gastelum down.
Oh yeah.
However that happens, happens. Give me Piper for all my money and yours.
I don't know if I'm going to be betting on this one, but yeah, you mentioned the grappling. He has grappling wins over Eric Anders, Gerald Meerschaert, and some guy Nicholas Wiley, who's a grappling guy. So definitely has that ability. Uh, I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be, especially if it's an early finish. If it's not an early finish, I think it'll still be a good fight. So um, yeah, let's move on to another fight. I hope will be good for certain reason. UFC Bantamweight Championship of the world. The champion, number three ranked pound for pound, women's pound for pound, Juliana Pena, huge underdog, plus 450. Kayla Harrison, number two ranked, number seven pound for pound, minus 625 on the other side. Um, Harrison was a PFL champion a few times over, two-time Olympic judo champion. Um, Came over, beat a few ladies. Now she's fighting for the title. Uh, Younger still, despite all that. She's 34 to Pena's 35. Um, 2 inches taller. She's at a 3 inch reach disadvantage, though. Probably won't matter. On the other side, Pena, Venezuelan vixen. Um, she is 35, won her belt back off Raquel Pennington last October. Decision I didn't fully agree with, but I didn't really care enough to go back and watch it. So, um, you know what, we're gonna go with it. And I believe this one's me. I Give me Kayla Harrison all the way in a heartbeat. Juliana Pena sucks, in my opinion. I don't think that's controversial to say. Um, Amanda Nunez took her down 6 times. Sarah McMahon took her down 3 times. Listen to this. She was Jermaine Durandamy's first submission win ever.
She got
After
slept.
she got slapped, I think it was a rear naked choke, and I think that was,
I think it was a Gilly.
yeah,
Even worse, low level
Gilly.
submission.
Yep, that was a Gilly first submission win ever for Jermaine Durandamy, who was a striker. And I love Kayla Harrison. I love a good judo throw. Go if you haven't seen it. Um, you guys know Practical Jokers, right? The TV show.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
There's a punishment there. This little ferret guy, Murr. He's one of the guys. They punish him by making Kayla Harrison throw him into like WWE tables, and she doesn't go easy on him. He goes head over heels
And
five
they're in
times.
like a public space as well. So like there's a bunch of people that don't know what's going on. And
Yeah,
they just see Kayla Harrison like putting this guy through everything like she
yeah.
can.
Imagine. I think it's like a fancy party, garden party or something. Imagine Kayla Harrison just judo tossing me 10 times. It's hilarious,
I'd
and
love
it's
to, Dax. I'll imagine that all day.
please do. So yeah, give me Kayla Harrison. Quick finish, however she wants. Hopefully, puts Juliana Pena to sleep. I really do not like Juliana Pena. Um, Will, you with me here? I don't know. I feel like you're a Juliana Pena guy for some reason. Oh God.
No, I think his odds should be a bit closer. Um, I don't think Kayla Harrison's last fight was a great representation of her skill set. Another thing is Kayla Harrison's never made 135. She's made 136, but she's never made
Yeah,
135. So
big girl.
when you're already getting that drain to make 136, sometimes you're like, where am I going to get the extra pound of weight off of it, you know? So but I don't know. Kayla Harrison's professional. She's already lean and mean. She might be ahead of schedule. Who knows? Um, yeah, I think Kayla Harrison wins. I'd be interested in a not to go the distance line.
Yeah.
Because under 4.5 is plus money, so I'm assuming that not to go to distance will be about even. So that's something I'm interested in this fight. Um, with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Juliana did win. I really wouldn't be that surprised. Um, but for this case, yeah, give me Kayla Harrison.
Yeah. It's possible. I mean, there's the path she just gasses out, but Um, I don't know. I do think she will make the weight. She has been nothing but professional her entire career, Harrison. I don't think she ever has ever pulled out of a fight. I could be wrong here. Um, yeah, there was a fight where I'll never forget this screenshot. She was booked at women's lightweight, and she was fighting a woman who had just fought at women's heavyweight, and the woman came in 30 pounds overweight for 155, and Kayla's like, just give me the fight, I'll fight her. And they wouldn't let her do it. Josette Cotton is the name. I'll
Shout
send the photo.
out.
Jose.
Shout
I'll send
out.
the photo to you too after.
Yeah, can we edit that in? Can we get a photo in there? Yeah, I need to see
If
this.
only I had such
Hmm.
skills. Unc, close this
No, I mean
out.
in post, not
In
live. In
post. Fair
post.
enough. Fair enough. Close us out here. Who you got?
I do agree with Will. I think this is a closer fight than they're giving us odds wise. Juliana's, if she's nothing else, she's scrappy. She's gonna make whatever she can out of this fight. But I do agree. I think Kayla does whatever she wants to her. I think she's gonna mush her against the fence. I think we're gonna see a lot of elbows. We're gonna see a lumped up Juliana.
Hmm.
Um, I just can't see it any other way. And that said, I do agree. I think it's a closer fight. I think it's a better fight than we're probably expecting. Um, it's exciting to see Kayla, fighting for a belt. It reminds me of the old days when they're bringing in, guys from other organizations that were champions, and
Hmm.
the pride integration,
Yeah.
and like DC coming over from Strike Force. That kind of it feels like that again, which is kind of cool. I
Yeah.
do like that, and with Patchy Mix, same thing. And I think, yeah, it seems like they're building them up rather than trying to break them down like they did with some of those Pride guys and some of
Ugh.
those others that they brought in. Yeah, watching Crow Cop get head kicked, tying it all back to Crow Cop. When he
To
got
be
head kicked by Gabriel Gonzaga, I wanted to die. That
to be fair,
was,
he was a minus 900. And that was I think that was a favorable fight for him.
yeah, it should
Like
have
I
been. Yeah,
yeah, grappler. Sorry, please continue.
yeah. Crow Cop, we love you.
He's not dead.
I know he's not dead. I know it was a joke. It was a joke. He was dead then. He was dead for
He
about five
was. Oh,
minutes.
jeez.
The
Oh my
knee
God.
wrapped around the. Oh god! All
Oh.
right, we're talking about Crow
What
Cop
about when he
during
fought
this
Shab?
interview.
How'd you feel then?
All right, all right. Watch it, buddy.
Enough. Kayla Harrison all the way, guys. She's gonna be
Yeah.
wearing the gold. She can keep. That's the one thing too. Yeah, the weight is until we see her do it a few times.
I can
Can
already,
she defend that belt? I don't know.
I can already see Amanda Nunes sitting ringside.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Uh-huh.
gonna bring her in.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That'll be
Exactly.
good. That'll be good.
God.
All right, main event. Bantamweight Championship of the World. The champion Rob Dvalishvili, number four ranked pound for pound. Uh, minus 325. On the other side, number one, number 14 pound for pound, Sean O'Malley plus 260. It's a rematch. They fought at UFC 306 in September. The Spear. Rob the Machine is 4 years older than Sean, 5 inches shorter, 4 inches of reach disadvantage. O'Malley's got 72 inches. Rob has 868. On the other side, Suga lost, but before that, he was on a nice win streak, 6 fights, and he had a title defense in there. He beat Rob's teammate Eljo, who we just talked about earlier. We were actually there, Will. That was crazy. Uh,
Loud,
yeah,
one of the
rematch.
loudest pops in an arena, man.
That was crazy. Oh
It was
my God. Our
insane.
friend Brendan was sitting there and he looks over at me and I look at him and we're both like as the second round starting to like, yeah, he's about to KO Joe. And then he did it 10 seconds in or something.
That's wild.
Um,
Can we talk about how many milligrams Brendan was on at that time? Do we know? Do we have a count?
surprisingly none.
Infinite.
Zero. Zero.
Really?
I think he'd
Wow.
smoked a blunt before, but this was pre-edible Brendan.
Okay.
2022? Jeez, has it been that long?
Wow.
No
Oh
way.
God.
No way it was 22.
2023, excuse me. Still almost 2 years.
Mhm.
That is crazy. Time
Yeah.
flies, man. Um, but yeah, rematch. 4 inch height, sorry, 5 inch height, 4 inch reach. Yeah, Unc, I believe it's your turn. Close us out on the predictions here. You think Marab, the Georgians, the New Yorkers take home another belt, or you think it's going back to Arizona?
It's fun watching O'Malley fight. It's hard for me to like the guy. I don't. I feel like he's a bit of a hype job. That doesn't really like he got exposed by Marab last time. I think in a lot of ways, even though it was a decision loss. Um, it's hard for me to pick him with that loss already. Like Marab looks like he's just getting better and better each time, even though these fights aren't like these are like fights that people who don't, casuals will tell you what the fuck's going on, but you're watching these things. He's controlling people. He's doing stuff that's like almost impossible to do to a lot of really high tier guys.
Yeah.
I feel like Marab is gonna defend. I feel like he's gonna be there for a while, and we may see Sean like change weight divisions or something to get away from this
Oh,
guy.
interesting.
I feel like it's gonna his boogeyman.
That's interesting actually. Let me pull up the this I'm gonna go off on a tangent here just for fun.
Mhm.
Say he loses, say, same decision happens. I'm gonna read you off like the top seven of featherweight. You tell me who you'd want to see him against. However the fights may. So it's Volk, Max Holloway. Well, I guess Holloway's gone now. Volk, Diego Lopez, Ilya's gone. Yair, Movsar, Arnold Allen, Brian Ortega, Roan Murphy. What's the most exciting fight for you there?
Yair all
Yair,
day.
Yair would be
Yair
fire.
all day. All day. Yair versus O'Malley would fill any stadium. That's the fight
Interesting.
to make.
I think give it like a year, give him one or two more victories. O'Malley versus John Silva in 2 years for the title. That sounds like a good fight to me.
Uh,
Um, all right, yeah. So you're going with Merab. You think he's
Yeah.
gonna? I think you used the word embarrass O'Malley. I'd
Yeah. Embarrass him into featherweight. Yeah, I
I'd
think
like
that's
to
what's
see
gonna
it.
happen. I
You know,
think it's
I'm
gonna
at
happen.
I'm at that age myself now. I don't want to age myself, but where the O'Malley stuff, like I don't think it appeals to the three of us the way it appeals to some of these fans. I don't know if it's the streaming or if it's the weed or the whatever it might be, but I never got it. I don't know. He's a good talker and I do kind of like him. Like he's not a horrible guy. He's just kind of a douchebag. But I guess with the Nelk boys, that's kind of the thing nowadays. So, Will, you going with the Nelk boy or the I don't know what to call him, Rob, now. The machine. Let's go. Yeah, the Nelk boy or the machine.
I think this fight was a lot closer than people remember in the first fight,
Yep.
and I think this fight will be extremely close as well.
Yep.
A fight can be clear but close. People need to realize that. Think about what is it? Ian Gary and Shavkat. That's like one of the most clear 3-2 fights ever.
Yeah.
Extremely close but clear. I think if we take O'Malley at his word that he had a torn labrum going into that fight, if we take him at his word, you have to think about picking him in this fight. Um, because that last fight was extremely competitive. I think it's hard to replicate something like that again. This is Marab's first rematch. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's hard to try to replicate a performance like that over 25 minutes. I think O'Malley, if we take him at his word and say that he did have a torn labrum in his hip, which makes it almost impossible to train any type of wrestling. Um, yeah, man, I think this is one of those upset fights where people think there's no way that Marab's gonna lose, or not even just Marab. Someone says, "Oh, this person's gonna win for sure," and then now we got an upset new champion. I think that happens all too often when people go on these runs, and I do think O'Malley's gonna win. I truly do think that. I think this is gonna set up a big trilogy. Where that goes and who wins that, I have no clue. But O'Malley has something special that a lot of fighters don't have, and I'm gonna compare. This is a comparison you never thought you'd hear, but compare Sean O'Malley to Derek Lewis because they have finishing potential the entire fight. From from
Yeah.
from when the
Yeah.
when the door opens to the door, or from the door closes to the door opens, they can finish the fight for 15 to 25 minutes. And we've seen that from both of those fighters. And I think O'Malley showed that because he hurt Marab in that fifth round in their last fight. And yeah, man, I think we're gonna get a new champion. And best case
Wow.
scenario for the division and both guys, we're gonna get a trilogy.
Um, Interesting. You said a lot there. I'm gonna disagree with the main point. I think Barab wins. he's just on a roll right now, and I think the best way to beat him is just going to be somebody's going to put him out. I don't think it's Sean. I don't think it's going to be Sean. I don't know who it's going to be, frankly, but um, I think we're just going to see more of the same. Um, Maybe even more takedowns. Like Marab's been training uh, uh, with this in mind for just years, essentially. He's been training nothing but takedowns for the past four fights, essentially, with Umar and Sean, the first one, and Henry. So yeah, give me Marab here all the way. I really do. I like Marab. He's not very exciting to watch, but you just got to feel like that's a feel good story. A guy who pulled himself up by his bootstraps, worked super hard. Was it 13 fight win streak after losing two? Something crazy. Best win streak in MMA right now. So I'm a fan. Let's I hope we see and new or sorry and still watch it.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
probably
Michael Chandler pull him up by the bootstraps. Guy, come on.
Nah.
I'm probably gonna be asleep at that point. I fell asleep during the last one, and it's gonna be late here. So um, yeah, but that's the card. Uh, okay card, I'll say. Okay pay-per-view, maybe a bad pay-per-view. Um, Before we let you go, two quick segments for you here. Regional minute. I'm gonna run down the some of the regional cards here, non-UFC action this week, real quick. Nothing crazy, so won't go super in detail or discussion. There's an EFC card going down Thursday at 9 a.m. Um, I'm generally not gonna, unless there's a fight, I'm just not gonna mention it. Fight I really care about, I'm not gonna mention on these cards. So ACA 187 going on Friday at noon, free online on their website. Actually, there's a few fighters here. You guys remember Enrique Barzola, Bellator fighter?
Yeah.
He's fighting.
Unk
And then
struggling. Unk struggling.
Carlos Felipe, boy, that UFC heavyweight, the Samoan dude who lost a bunch. He's
I
fighting
remember
here
him.
too.
I remember
Um,
him now.
The one with the face tats?
Yeah, does he have face
I don't remember
tattoos?
that.
Yeah, he has like a little something under
Yeah.
here.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Don't go back and watch any of his fights. He's not great. Uh, CFFC 143, we got Bill Hassan defending his flyweight title. I suspect we'll see him on um, Contender Series later in the year. One Fight Night 32 on Prime Video. Horrible card. MMA fans probably should not watch this unless you just want to see some fights. It's Friday, it's 9 p.m. It's super late too. BKFC, Mundell versus Sanchez. No, it's not Diego Sanchez. It's Donald Sanchez. You got what I can only assume is John Dodson's brother, Eric Dodson. I'm going to assume that's him. Fighting out Jansen Wing, so probably. Brave CF 96, Saturday at noon. Um, and then, yeah, that brings us to next week's UFC card. UFC Fight Night, Usman versus Buckley, Saturday at 7 p.m. Atlanta, Georgia. I will be in attendance. Uh, I will be bringing several people that I know and love, and it's gonna be an interesting card, I'll tell you that. So, uh, rumor has it, there are sources that are saying there's going to be the first live sparring sessions preview episode. Um, I can't say who yet. I can't say who, but
Oh,
keep an eye
brother.
out. It is who you think it is. The only other person who also lives here with me. Um, So yeah, you know how we like to do it on this show. We're gonna give you the our favorite fight from next week. So Unk, you're the guest. Would you like to give us your favorite fight from or favorite fight up to you from UFC Fight Night Usman versus Buckley?
Usman versus Buckley. I got to go with that main. I want to see what Usman's going to
Yeah.
do. I feel like it's questionable what he's capable of still, in my mind, if he's on the real downhill side or not. And we'll find out.
We will
It's
find
it's
out.
going to be that type of situation. It's to me, it's like fight or he's done, win or done.
I
What else
agree.
is he going to do?
I agree. Will, let's hear your
Michael
favorite.
Chiesa and Court McGee for sure.
Okay. Okay.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I was gonna say I didn't want
You
to
weren't
hate on
looking
it,
at
but
him when he said it. I was
It was
watching in the
all right, all
monitor.
right.
actually my real. It's Jamie Lynn Horth and Teresa Bleda.
Okay, now I know you're
No,
joking. Now I
no,
know you're joking.
no. In reality, it's got to be a matchup like Phil Rowe and Angelusa. I've got no idea who's going to win that fight. That's a hard matchup for both guys. Probably going to lean Angelusa, but tough fight for both guys. It sucks. We have Phil Rowe's been out for a while. Just been trying to
Yeah,
get a matchup. Um, Another one's probably Ricky Simone and Charles Jourdain. That's going to be a good
great
fight.
fight.
I think both of those guys, both of those fights will be pretty good. So
Yeah. Um, for me, give me Mansour Abdul Malik versus Cody Brundage. That fight, it's gonna be crazy. Like that's uh
they fight
well, I
like
want
they're
to
on fire.
yeah, exactly. Throw
They
money
got
at
to
the
get it
under.
out.
Unless Jeannie says yes, we are betting on the under 1.5.
Yo, we got to put him on a soundboard, yo.
We got to put him. I will do everything in my power to get him on best bets to be accountable for that this week. Yeah, I think Mansour Abdulmalik is just going to come in here and run over Cody Brundage, but Brundage has spoiled before. You know, maybe we see another slam. Maybe we see an illegal elbow back of the head DQ again from him. Maybe we get some weird stuff.
Imagine
Give
Genie
me.
goes, he said, yes, we are betting on Mansour Abdul Malik round one, and then that doesn't happen.
I'm smashing the over at that point.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, thanks so much for coming on, boys. Unc, welcome to the show. We love to have you. Uh,
I'll be back
Will,
whenever you'll have me.
Thanks for not
oh,
free-handing your
definitely.
phone.
Wait, hold on. Like
Oh
this one?
God. Oh
Is this
God.
better, guys? Is that what you were
Oh
expecting?
God, shout out, Chris. Shout out
Oh
Seven.
God.
7. We love
Uh,
you.
7.
we do love you. Will, thanks for coming on as always. And thank you for watching, for listening. Hope we made the card a little bit more interesting, or if not, we got you, we push you over the edge, and now you're gonna skip it. Either way, I'm glad you listened. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
See you guys.